Hello, hello, hello. You know what? Yesterday, I don't believe I said Happy New Year. I recorded that video 3 times, and I know I said it a couple times, but I don't remember saying it in the last video. So Happy New Year to everyone. I'm going to give it a couple of beats so that some people can come on before I get started. I have my earbuds in because I want you guys to hear me a little bit better. But also the people next door are getting a new garage and it is very low connection. Okay, connection is available. Well, I better get started before I lose connection. I don't know how that happens, but it's very loud over there. So if you hear noise, please forgive me. I was like, I can't wait any longer to come on. So you guys, without further ado, I am TJ Sykes and I help people live big, beautiful lives through self-care on steroids. And it is all about experience the abundance that life offers. But if we are in our own way, if we are self-sabotaging, we will not experience everything that we want. So today I want to talk about accountability. Are you accountable? Are you an accountable person? Before I get into it, I want to encourage you to save this video to your favorites. You can click the dots above. That way you don't have to scroll through the page if you want to reference it again later. And also we all know people who can use this information. So certainly feel free to share it with them. And if you're watching the replay of this video, hashtag replay in the comments. So without further ado, we're going to talk about accountability and being an accountable person. It's a quality of the beautiful. You know, I have this list of things that I call the quality of the beautiful. And the beautiful are both men and women. It doesn't matter masculine and feminine. It is both. And beautiful is a term I'm using for people who are good and decent or striving to be good and decent human beings, as well as enjoy the abundance that life offers. So it's all encompassing of a lot of things. Today we want to talk about accountability, and what I want to know, do you own and take responsibility for your happiness, your feelings, your actions? What I have to say about it is, if it's not part of the solution or adding to you in a positive way, then honor it, whatever it is, whoever it is, and let it go. Now, and when I say whoever it is, I'm speaking in terms of relationships, romantic relationships, or so-called friendships. If these people, these things, or these activities that you engage in are not serving you in a positive way, let it go. If the clothing and the knickknacks that you have in your space, I talked about this before, you let that go if they're not serving you, if they're not bringing you happiness, if they're not making you smile when you see them. Remove any clutter, and that is inclusive of people, things, and activities that are just low vibe, negative, or just bringing you down or not serving you. In terms of your feelings, negative emotions and thoughts are counterproductive. The more you entertain positivity, the more you call that into your life, the more joy and happiness and fun you call into your life. So as I said yesterday, in the event that you start to have those negative thoughts, I mean, we all do, we're human beings. You have those negative thoughts popping in your head. What I like to do is I like to say, cancel it, cancel that. And it might sound corny and goofy and ridiculous, but I'm telling you, it works. Just say it and then instantly move into something that brings a smile to your face, whether it's thinking about a memory of someone you really love. As I mentioned before, watching puppies and kittens on Instagram, turning on some music, vibing to some music, your favorite songs, all of that. And then you want to flip the switch and start, incorporating a hobby that you've been putting on the back burner. There's a hobby that you've been wanting to do or engage in. You wanted to learn more about. What if you want to be a glass blower, just for a hobby? You never know. After you learn that skill set, you might be able to turn that into a business. You might be able to circulate to all the, community bazaars or sell online, or there's so many things that you can do. And now is really the time to get involved in the things that bring joy to your life. And the more that you do that, the more of that you'll start to see. I'm telling you, I am not lying. I am a witness to it. It is all about how you know how they say perception is all how you perceive and how you choose to deal with certain things that will add to that abundant life. Okay. So make sure you, if you want to learn a new craft, a new hobby, or even a new skill set, maybe you want to get into a different trade, then by all means, get started. The internet is here. YouTube has all types of good information. You can get started with basic, and some people even, I know several people who learned how to sew just from watching YouTube. Not only did they learn how to sew, they are making dynamite fashions, and they are making money at it now. They make money at creating the garments, selling the garments, creating the pattern, selling the pattern, and they even make money at teaching it. Online courses in the community. You can do sip and sew, where you have, how they have the sip and paint or paint and sip classes. You can do that with sewing. I know people who are doing that, and you can do that with any skill set that you have, really. You can break it down and monetize it. So I'm telling you, if that doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. And it gives you more additional purpose. You know what I mean? And you're sharing more of your gifts with people, because that's what we're here to do. Now, with that takes me into setting a goal. So you would set a goal to do it. So for example, if you want to do the glass blowing thing or whatever, anything, you set the goal and then you make small goals. They call them SMART goals. But I like to say, make small adjustments or actionable steps towards that goal. And what I would recommend is you use a planner. And I say this all the time. I've had planners and I've had them and then they'd be blank. By the end of the year, I have done nothing with them. I'm telling you, when you have big goals or even small ones, when you break those large goals into small actionable steps and put it in your calendar for things to do, and you actually do them, and then after each step, you celebrate what you've done. You celebrate the win and then move on to the next one. By the time you're done, you have mastered what you went out to achieve. Okay, so now you have your certificate, your degree, whatever it is, you've completed. You've made pieces in your glass blowing class, whatever it is, and you can, or if you want to sell them, now you're actually selling them and you've launched, whatever it is. If you're celebrating all along the way, you are creating a high vibration for yourself. You are enjoying your life. You're enjoying your life. And now you also have a business or a hobby that you can share with other people. Now, I'm just taking a look at my notes. As always, I have to make sure. Okay, so I've covered everything. Now, I want to tell you that I have a law of attraction planner. Those are very robust planners and very fun. If you are interested, actually, I can leave a link in the comments so that you can take a look at this particular planner that I'm talking about. There are several different types. I'll leave a couple of links for you to take a gander. But you can use a regular calendar as long as you are holding yourself accountable and completing those tasks. And if you couldn't get to something, say this day, because sometimes, planners and calendars, they're living and breathing things. You're always adding things to them. You're moving things around. If you can't get to something this particular day, you can then move it to another day or another week, but make sure you move it and you stick to what you're supposed to do as much as possible. And if you have trouble with that, it is okay to have an accountability partner, someone that you trust, someone that is supportive, that supports your dreams. You don't want anyone who is a negative Nelly or anyone who is not necessarily not doing anything with themselves. People who aren't trying to do things for themselves, sometimes, oftentimes can bring you down when you're trying to level up. So be careful with that, but certainly choose wisely. It could be a family member, it can be a trustworthy friend, anyone, someone who wants to see you win, and someone who will call you out on your stuff. Okay, another trait in accountability is being a person of your word. If you say that you're going to do something, be reliable and just do it. Do it, whatever it is. If you are unable to fulfill the goal or the task, communicate. Just say, hey, and communicate in advance. For example, if you tell someone, yes, I will take you to the doctor on Tuesday, I'll be there at 1 p.m. If you find that you are not able to make it, it's 10 o'clock and it looks 10 a.m. and it looks like, oh boy, I'm hours behind. I got this that just came up. Get on the phone and simply say, hey, this is what's going on. I'm not sure if I'll be on time. Maybe call your doctor's office, see if you can rearrange or reschedule something, whatever. This is just an example. But the worst thing is being someone who is not reliable, other than to be someone who is unreliable. Do you understand? You say, oh yeah, well, I don't trust them. I trust them to be, unreliable. That's not a good look. That is not a good look. And it's important that you fix that. Now, if you do not want to agree to do whatever this task is, don't. Just say no. Just say no. I have a nice free resource and you can click the link above. The art of saying no. Some people want to learn how to say no using tact. Some people just want to say no guilt-free. I don't mind saying no, but if you want to soften it up or figure out how to say it without hurting feelings, then I got you covered. You can go ahead and click the link and there's like free resources and just choose the art of saying no and go from there. Enjoy and best wishes, and you're welcome. But it's just important to be reliable. And certainly accountability also includes not saying you're going to do something. It includes telling someone, volunteering yourself to do something, knowing good and well you're not going to do it. You know yourself. You already know yourself. You know that you're not really a person of your word. So the best thing to do is not volunteer for it. Even if the other party is signifying, beating around the bush and saying things and dropping hints and all of that, do not fall for it. If you know that you're not going to be able to complete the task, or you're not going to want to complete the task, or you usually don't want to, don't fall for it. And if you're the person who signifies, stop doing that. Be accountable for what you want. Say what you want. Say it. Ask. And that makes life easier. That makes everyone happier. And that keeps us out of our own way. And we are not self-sabotaging and adding unnecessary negativity in our lives. And finally, I want to leave you with being mindful. Be mindful of how you speak to and treat others. Lead with love and kindness during every interaction, and be tactful, be patient, and be pleasant. It does not cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. If you are encountering someone who is less than pleasant, they exist, and some folks are just stuck in their ways, and that's okay. If you encounter that, then you need to know how to disassociate yourself. You can keep it surface level conversation. You don't have to get super engaged. You can talk about the weather. So what if it's superficial? Everyone is happy. No one is harmed. I would rather it be superficial and pleasant and kind in nature and loving, because sometimes you do, and oftentimes, but some people are harder than others to reach. But sometimes they can't help but to respond back in a loving and kind way, at least a cordial way, and that's all we can ask from them until they learn to do better. In the meantime, I want you guys to do better. I want you to live simply and be kind. Again, I am TJ Sykes, and I help people live big, beautiful lives through self-care on steroids so that you can experience the abundance that life offers. All right, guys, go ahead and share this with anyone that you think needs this. Until the next video, live simply and be kind. Positive vibes.